Guacamole's fattening. It's just good fat.
Yeah,
It's made with
I'm
avocados.
all about bad fat.
It's made with avocados.
Bad fat. Bad fat. Bad fat. Bad fat.
Give me all the trans fats. Welcome back to Poutine Politics, Canadian issues served with cheese curds. My name's Adam.
My name's Mike.
And today, we got more Alberta talk.
Yes.
Kind of.
Apparently, I lie about who my favorite province is. It's just Alberta. It's an endless well of awesome. So, in particular, I want to talk about an MLA member, Jason Nixon. Now, a lot of people may be asking, may not be familiar with Jason Nixon, although you should be, because there's lots of stories about him that are all awesome. Okay.
All right.
In the early 2000s, he had his own company. His dad also ran Mustard Seed, which was a nonprofit in and around Alberta and such. It was a building company that he ran. He actually went back to school when he was 33, 34 at Athabasca University.
All right.
Yeah. And he became the president of the student union there.
Oh,
Very good.
all right.
Then he eventually left to join the Wild Rose Party and was one of the first MLAs to ever be elected. He was eventually elected the leader of the Wild Rose and was the official opposition leader to the NDP party when they were in power, and was instrumental in trying to get the PC party and the Wild Rose Party merged, and then became...
So we can partially blame him.
And he became the deputy minister under Jason Kenney, and is now currently the environment minister as well.
All right.
Okay, now we know what this is.
The quick bio.
The quick bio. Now it's quiz time.
Oh, we're doing another quiz. All
Yes,
right.
but these
I'm going to fail at this because I barely know this guy.
Well, the other thing too is that these are all open-ended questions, so there's no hope in hack. So we'll try this.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Because I'm not at specifics, because that takes way too long.
Yes, fair enough.
During a long session to pass Bill 9, which was arbitration for their unions in Alberta, Jason Nixon was accused of doing what?
Oh, jeez. Oh, it's not a multiple choice?
No.
Oh, man.
I said open it.
What was he accused of?
Yeah. Just take a shot in the dark.
I mean, if it has something to do with unions, I feel like...
I will be more specific. It was during the legislation debates
Oh,
in the actual legislature.
well, I get the sense that either he... I wouldn't say... No, it wouldn't be a racial slur.
Nope.
But I get the sense that he said something inappropriate or did something inappropriate. But I mean, the question would be what?
That's fine.
Okay.
He didn't say something inappropriate. He was participating in something that was inappropriate.
Was it like...
He misled the legislature to believe that nobody was wearing earplugs during the debate. Yeah, so the UCP handed around earplugs.
Oh, okay. I feel
To
like I
not
heard
listen.
something about this.
Yeah, and then the NDP wanted a point of privilege brought up, basically saying, these guys didn't listen to this. We need to do this again because that's a good politician.
Yes. Earplugs.
Earplugs.
Oh, boy.
I can assure you, this is the least of the controversies that are coming your way.
Fun.
Okay, to raise funds, Jason Nixon asked party supporters for a small donation. Was this done properly?
No, of course not.
No, not according to the NDP, because he filed it and referenced the fact that he was the member writing from, also using, say, the office of the premier. So you can't use your office to ask for money for your party fundraising.
Really?
You can't say, to help fund the premier's actions. You can say to help fund Jason Kenney's actions, but you can't say the premier's actions. Because there was a case that went against him.
So this was after the election, though?
Yeah, after election. It's a small ethics liability. But the NDP
I mean, it's weird because you could use the name,
from my understanding,
and everybody knows that Jason Kenney's the premier. So it's odd to me that odd to me that you can use his name but
for
not
party
his
fundraising,
office.
You can say he's the
member
lead or
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah,
but you're not supposed to use your actual
title.
Title.
You can say that you're the MLA for whatever riding, kind of thing. Okay, I see.
That kind of thing.
Fair enough.
But this is where it starts to get fun. Remember how I mentioned that he became the student union president?
Yes.
In 2014, at like the age of 33.
Yep.
The student body responded by doing what?
I feel like striking.
They can't strike.
No, I know.
Student body.
The student body. either formed a competing student government or they did what they could to withhold certain fees from the student government.
No. They tried to get him expelled.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that's the next thing, I guess.
Now, why do you think this was?
I'm assuming it has something to do with whatever like networking kind of connections he had or plans he had for fundraising.
No.
Okay.
He violated its bylaws by siphoning funds from the student paper to increase his salary from $22,000 to $49,000, and making him the highest paid student executive in Alberta by 30%.
Oh my God. Really? I mean, damn well should have been expelled. I mean, wow. Okay. Assistants in classes barely make that kind of money. Not even close in university.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay. Anyways,
He did well.
apparently, yeah.
Okay. In 2009, Jason Nixon was out hunting with a group, including a 13-year-old. He was confronted by the landowner who informed him that he was trespassing on her land.
Okay.
What did he do next?
Well,
You can even say what he should have done. I don't care.
what he should have done was go off the property. But I mean, what he did, well, obviously, considering his position, well, you know what? I shouldn't even say that. It's like considering his position. It's not like he did something like beat her up or rape her or something like that.
Well, no. I think that would be...
You get my point. Like, I'm looking at, worst case scenario would be something really bad. But it's like, well, I mean, it couldn't have been that bad because he's in public office. People voted for him.
Yep.
He's not in prison.
Yep.
So, I don't know. Something with that. Now, you mentioned the 13-year-old kid. Why do I feel like the 13-year-old kid has something to do with it?
It does, but not what you think.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So he confronted the owner of the car, verbally assaulting her, and saying, quote, "Hey, some person in this group, you want to shoot that bitch?" According to the court proceedings.
Well, I mean, that's it's not as bad as the things I mentioned, but it's close enough.
So what happened in the court? What ended up as a result of all this? Because she took pictures of him there. What ended up as a result of everything that went on?
Well, again, I'm going to guess he didn't go to prison. Maybe there was either some sort of community service or there wasn't a civil lawsuit either. Was this civil or was this criminal?
This one was criminal.
So wouldn't even be a probation thing or anything like that either that I could think of. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I feel like nothing happened.
He paid a fine and signed a peace bond.
Yeah, there you go.
And a peace bond is basically saying he neither admits nor denies guilt.
Yeah.
So it was funny. There was a Twitter exchange between the UCP and the NDP governments saying that, the UCP saying this is a nothing story. He was never charged with anything. And then the UCP pulled the actual documents and said, yeah, he wasn't charged, but here's what was actually said in court.
Yeah.
That's where I got that quote from. But what could happen now if poor little Mr. Jason Nixon decided to trespass?
Well, after signing a peace bond, if he... you mean under the new trespassing law?
On the new trespassing
law. Under the new...
that he signed off on.
Yes, okay. I mean, technically, as long as the landowner... the way I read it is like, as long as the landowner didn't like booby trap the property and didn't coerce him into said booby traps, once he's trespassing, that landowner can do almost anything they want to get him off the property.
Yeah, that, and he can also be charged $25,000.
Yeah, it's $25,000 fine, and 6 months up to 6 months in prison,
and plus punitive damages if there's anything that they can prove.
Yes.
So yeah, good job, Nixon. And now
he doesn't plan on trespassing anymore. Maybe that's why he passed the bill, right? Or helped create the bill.
Listen, you know what I mean. So as a result of this, because they also shot and killed a deer on the property, because it was common. The reason why that this landowner was going around in her truck was because it's quite common for people to trespass on her property. So she was out and about. And then because they shot a deer and killed it, Fish and Wildlife was called.
Yeah.
So the warden came.
Oh, okay.
And how did Jason Nixon react to this?
Not well, based on how he reacted to the landowner showing up and accusing them of trespassing. I feel like he probably said something stupid to the warden as well.
Yep, was caught threatening the warden on site.
Yeah.
Great.
Good job.
Now, when the press was asked to see the video, the judge, who happens to be a former MLA from 1997 to 2004, ruled this.
And a progressive conservative MLA?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. What was the ruling?
Declined access, citing that the youth present, that's the 13-year-old.
Oh, okay.
I alluded to before.
Yeah.
Shouting. Good job. But during the press release, only talked about the fact that it would negatively impact Jason Nixon's political campaign.
Who cares?
So the video that normally anyone can get to, like whenever there's a court proceeding, there's a video about it.
Yeah,
They
is
normally get to it.
essentially like stricken from the record, as it were.
Yeah, they can't get to it.
Yeah.
It's still in court right now, as far as I know, but they still can't get to it, which is silly because it used to be a widespread video of Nixon going crazy on the poor little warden trying to do his job.
And the chances are that you won't be able to get that video under a FOIA request either.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Now, what is Jason Nixon's role in relation to the warden currently?
He's his boss because he's the Minister of the Environment.
That's correct. Awesome.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I guess he's not his direct boss, right?
What?
But it'd be pretty damn close.
Like, you gotta. I feel for that warden because he didn't do anything wrong. He
Yeah.
just showed up and recorded like it was on board camera.
And you said this stuff happened in 2009?
Yeah.
But it's still it's still going through the courts though. Or was going through the courts
Well,
up
the thing
until
They've already resolved the court battles. The problem is that somebody in like 2017 or 18, somebody from the press wanted to get a hold of the video,
right.
and
Okay.
then found out it was locked by that judge.
And it
And they
okay.
ruled
It
on
brought it all back up and stuff. Yeah, I got it. Okay.
Yeah. You know, here's the one I like the most.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Back in 2017, when the NDP government was the ruling party, they introduced new legislation about sexual assault in the workplace.
Mm-hmm.
Then opposition leader Jason Nixon responded with what? Was he in favor of it?
No. I would say he wasn't, based on his comment to the landowner.
Uh-huh.
Okay. But a direct comment.
You probably will never guess the direct.
No, of course I won't. But he sounds to me like one of these people that would be like women belong in the kitchen kind of people.
He said, "We have enough laws in place. We don't need any more." Okay.
What?
Put a little thought bubble into that because it
Okay.
doesn't end there.
Okay.
Because that would be too easy. When Jason Nixon was in charge of his own company back in December of 2005, a female advised him of sexual harassment complaint, not against Jason Nixon, against another person.
Okay.
The guy was apparently slapping her butt and telling her to dress more sexy and things like that.
Okay.
Jason Nixon responded by doing the following action.
Oh, the following action. So not saying something.
Yeah, what did he do?
He sexually assaulted her.
No.
Damn it. Okay.
Fired her.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Fired
of course.
her immediately afterwards, saying that she wasn't working out well within the group, within the company structure.
She wasn't a team player.
She wasn't a team player.
Okay.
5 days before Christmas, the single mother got fired, and then was later awarded $32,000
Yeah, because that makes up for it.
as a result of lost wages and the harassment that she received as compensation. I wanted to make sure people understand this. This is the deputy minister in Alberta. He's a second guy in charge.
Essentially like the deputy premier, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah. Oh, so he's higher than Schweitzer.
Yeah, he's higher than Schweitzer.
All right.
Like, there's other controversies in the UCP, which are fun. Nowhere near as much fun as Nixon. When I started to unravel this guy, I was like, wait, how are you still in power? And then I go, oh, I know why.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's not the same as there's certain people, especially in politics, where they live, that they have such a strong following, almost to the point of like a command over the people that they represent. It's kind of like, how it's kind of like when Donald Trump made the comment about he could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and nothing would happen, basically.
Right.
It's that kind of thought, in the sense that when you know enough people, and when you've like I said, command, almost like command over people. It's like you could do, unless you did like something heinous, there's still enough people out there that will support you.
Yeah, that's scary because I don't think Jason Nixon has that kind of personal clout. Like, I think it's just his party.
Yeah.
That's just allowing him to fail upwards.
And that's and I think that's potentially part of the issue with, you know, as much as people like to say, well, we have like 5 or 6 political parties here. It's like, but kind of. And in Alberta, there really is only 2.
Yeah, it's
you know,
1.5.
There's a conservative party and there's an NDP party, and that's it.
And the NDP party from Alberta doesn't even like the NDP party from federal.
No, exactly. And I mean, and people say, well, there's an Alberta Liberal Party, and it's like, yeah, but they've been like a non-factor since the 30s, I think it was.
Oh yeah, they're not there.
Because, well, I remember from, when we were doing the Wexit episodes, right? And the episode that I did on that one kind of talked about the history of politics in Alberta and the history of Western separation. And yeah, I mean, like Alberta was strongly liberal until basically like the early 30s. Yeah. And then it became, and then it basically was controlled by, you know, the parties that eventually became the current United Conservative Party.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, so you're right. It is almost like a 1.5 party system there, because the Conservative Party in all of its different functions and forms has been so ingrained in the people that despite like multiple generations, it doesn't matter.
No,
it doesn't matter. They still get voted. They still get elected.
Yep.
You know, the NDP winning the 2015 election was practically a fluke because of the fact that the Conservative Party, as it were, in Alberta was so split between PC and Wild Rose.
Yeah.
I think you're probably more right there in that he keeps getting elected because he's a conservative.
Yeah. Right. Like, it's not like he had years and years. He only ran in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. Like 2019 was only his second election.
Yeah.
So
this guy's amazing. I love him so much.
This guy's not old enough yet, though. That's the thing. He's still in his 30s.
Yeah, he's 39.
Right. So I mean, potentially there's more story to tell. We just don't know what it is yet.
I think he's done. I think his 20s were his controversial time. I think he's almost done.
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, he's still got 1 or 2 left in him.
Well, okay, fine. But I'm thinking based on his position in the party and based on how Alberta tends to vote, like that is, you know, one of the things to me with the whole situation with Alberta, with the UCP, and with the decisions that they're making that seem very unpopular. I understand that there's polls out that say that Kenny's approval rating is way down and things like that, but that doesn't mean that when the next election rolls around, people aren't they're just not going to vote conservative.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, there's a difference between approval and who you vote for.
Right.
I can be disappointed in somebody and still vote for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And the other thing too is they've got not quite 3.5 years now until the next election to do things that make people happy again. Yeah. Right. So despite the fact that there seems like there's this big uproar and people ready to revolt and get the UCP out as the governing party in Alberta, by the time the next election rolls around, just looking at the history of Alberta, it's not going to change.
That's right.
So Jason Nixon will win in the next election as well. And,
for sure.
And like I said, maybe there will be more stories. This is a part 1, and a part 2 will happen sometime like way in the future.
It's true. It's possible. It could be part 1 of many.
Yes. All right. Well, there you go. Nice little history lesson, quote unquote, on Jason Nixon, the Minister of the Environment and Deputy Premier of Alberta. And
ogre.
Yes.
And an ogre.
Go. Yeah. Like Mike told me to look at a picture of Jason Nixon and Jason Kenney standing side by side, and yes, there's a sizable difference between those two men.
There's 4 MLAs named Jason in Alberta.
Who are the other 2?
I don't know.
Oh.
I just know there's 4.
Oh, okay. We'll have to find that. Maybe they'll have stories too.
Maybe.
Because I mean, Jason Kenney's got lots of stories.
Yeah.
Because I mean, but he was in federal politics, and then there's even the stuff. There's even the stuff from before, like when he was
Oh,
in.
I remember. I forgot about all the Kenny stuff. Kenny. I can go back to Kenny.
Yeah. All right. Well, this has been an episode on Jason Nixon, UCP MLA in Alberta. Anyways, my name's Adam.
My name's Mike.
We'll talk to you soon.